Yeah, you've seen us probably before.
Once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
Once or twice?
Yep.
All right, we are going. Okay, so we're live on mine. I can see the red light going. We're good to go. All right, on this jam session, Claire Cannon and Erin Elaine Thomas stops by. I had to get that. Like you said, the little southern charm. I had to get that middle name in.
Yes.
Yes.
Little different. I like that. I always like different. You know, being a little different. I'm a little different on myself, right? Okay.
All
so
the best people are.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. My wife tells me I need to go back to Bobby Neal Johnson, right? Like, you know, Erin Elaine Thomas.
Hey, and I'm Claire Marie, and I went by
Oh!
Claire Marie for a very long time, so there's
Okay.
probably some of those out there that'll.
Well, if somebody
resonate.
calls me Bobby, I'm like, radar on, antenna up type deal, and I'm like, okay, that's either a family member,
Yep.
my mom, I'm about to get in trouble.
Yes.
I feel like we might be able to call you Bobby, though.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
you
that we can.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that we can.
I think it's
Yep.
okay. It's coming back into stuff.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it back.
Usually, if I'm really in trouble, then my dad, I get the Claire Marie
Yeah.
with the pause, the West Texas pause,
Oh, really?
Oh,
Claire
and-
Marie. Mm.
and you never know what's coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually when they do the front and the back, or the first name and middle name, it's typical trouble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We know what's coming.
I heard
It's
that
trouble.
with a couple of
Claire,
times.
yeah, it's coming, Claire Marie. Okay, this is the 89th BobMortgage Jam Session.
Awesome.
The 89th Jam Session.
Very
Fun.
cool.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
All right, we're good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. Last week we had 88. I got to roll out some of the old Dallas Cowboy
Cool.
88 jerseys. Yeah,
Fun.
you Cowboy fans?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Not right now. Not so much.
Well, you know, Sundays are for open houses instead
That's
of
true.
Cowboys games, you
That's
know,
true.
so.
Good point.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've had the Cowboys on in many open houses.
Yeah.
before.
I'm not anti-Cowboys. I'm just, you know.
Anti what it takes away from the showing of the homes, right?
Right.
And we kind of want like wins.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this: would it be better for the Cowboy win on a showing, or would you rather them be like down bad by halftime so everybody just leaves and goes and looks at houses?
I think it
Which
could go
one's gonna
either
show?
way.
I think it can go either way.
Okay.
I know a lot of people who really, can get really upset
Yeah.
when the Cowboys are losing. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's not just men. I mean, I know a lot of women who, really can, that can really ruin their day. And so,
Uh-huh. It's like it means so much to them.
it
that
does.
when they
It really
lose,
does.
It just disrupts the whole day.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes even the first couple of days of the week. It's
Right.
crazy.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would
They're
prefer.
not that important.
No,
I mean,
I would prefer
honestly,
that
guys,
they win.
They're not that important to our lives, right? So get over it. It's a loss. Move on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Unless you're getting paid, Jerry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, Jerry.
Sorry. Jones family. Okay, so we're not talking Cowboys, guys. That's the last thing we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk a lot about real estate. We're gonna talk about a lot of just in business in general, because I want to talk to you guys about some branding,
Great.
things that you guys are doing, some lead generation. We know if you're agents out there, you guys need to lead generate. What are you doing for lead generation? We just want to talk just overall, like what kind of marketing and how are you getting listings and what are you seeing out there on the buyer side? Because we've got a lot of people that listen, and sometimes there are going to be buyers out there that need to know how they should work with an agent, what kind of questions they should be asking to evaluate their decision in choosing the right agent. Listings, sellers, man, I mean, there's a lot of people right now that are really knocking on a lot of doors. Okay, how are you going to decide who's the best fit for you? I know you guys are a team.
We are.
This is awesome. We're going to talk about that, why you guys decided to get together as a team. But if you wouldn't mind, there's a lot of people I know on one camera that knows you guys really well. On mine, hopefully there's a big audience out there that we're going to get to introduce you to. So
cool.
from just a really quick, like a high level 30,000 foot view type deal, a little bit about each one of you,
Sure.
just to let everybody know who you are.
Okay. I'm Claire Cannon, and for those of you who knew me, before 7th grade, I was Claire Marie. And I have been in the real estate industry. This is coming into my 20th year. Wow.
Okay, 20
Crazy,
years.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. I started out in mortgage banking,
Uh-huh.
and I was in lending for, from 99 until I officially did not renew my NMLS in 2014.
Okay.
I didn't.
So all in on real estate then.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was really, I became licensed in real estate I think in 2011.
Okay.
I really didn't actively start practicing until 2013.
Okay.
But before that, during the recession years, I was doing short sales.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on. There we go. And I was processing the short sale side of that file.
Okay.
And I was partnering with a real estate agent who was on the other side with the listing.
Gotcha.
So did a lot of that just all over the market. And then, you know, he really, that partnership ended. He was not interested in really pursuing the business further. And I started, I just took it over.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been practicing real estate this entire time because each little bit that I did leading up to what I currently do was all planting the seeds to, you know, help me work with my loan officers and be able to explain, you know,
yeah, you have a more
all of
well-rounded
that.
experience. I mean,
Exactly.
now you really see it from kind of like that 360 view.
Completely.
Where most who have never kind of sat in your sat in your chair, walked in your shoes, only see maybe what's above the iceberg. I get what's above
Right.
the water in the iceberg deal. They don't really understand everything that happens
Exactly.
underneath it. So I think that, would you say that provides a significant advantage and a lot more value for
I
you
think
and your
so.
clients?
I think so very much.
It's a ton of value.
It, you know, being able to sit down and talk to somebody about, you know, listen, I'm not going to be able to quote you interest rates or anything like that, but let's talk about what this financially means to you when
Right.
while you're making this purchase, or while we're preparing your listing and you're preparing for the next chapter, whatever that might be. And
Right.
so I think that it provides a deeper level of consultation, and it really helps me see, you know, even the people that I've still got folks that, you know, have come back to me from where I represented them pre-recession when they purchased a home. I represented them in a short sale, then I represented them in a lease property, and then I represented them in a purchase, you know, and now I've got one client who I'm representing them again in their sale, and they're moving on. So, I mean, that's, you know, 5-6 transactions.
Which,
I
by the
mean,
way, guys, we went from macro content to micro.
Yeah, we sure did. Yeah, sorry about that.
30,000 foot view.
Dive right in there. It also has helped me, that background has helped me be able to recognize talent
Right.
and be able to train and really, I mean, she's, what, 18 months in the
Yeah,
business?
about.
Yeah. And I took her in and, you know, I said, just get in the car.
Basically,
Just come
Yeah.
with me, and I'm going to teach you how we do all of this.
Okay, so you go. Do you really go with Erin Elaine? So you no Erin,
I mean,
no Elaine, just Erin Elaine.
well, the funny thing is people sometimes get confused. And so I'll answer to Erin, I'll answer to Elaine, I answer to Erin Elaine. So, like, you know, friends, a lot of times it's just Erin, but like when I introduce myself, it's always Erin Elaine.
Okay, so Erin Elaine.
Yes.
Little 30,000 foot view about you.
Yes.
And then we'll tie all this together in a nice little package.
So I was in education for 23 years
Okay.
as a guidance counselor. And I loved doing that, but I needed something for my schedule that would be better for my kids' schedule. And so I had asked her to meet me for dinner one night, and I'm like, hey, can you kind of tell me how real estate works?
Right.
And she's like, are you thinking about doing this? And I was like, I'm thinking about it. She's like, I'll train you. Like, we'll be a team. She's like, I've got a ton of work. Like, this will be great. And I'm like, okay. And that
Yeah.
was the best decision I could have made.
Really?
Because I see other agents come in, new agents, and it's a struggle. Because even though you have all this training and all this like book training or video training, really being with her and sitting there like just being thrown into it, you know,
Yeah.
like this is how we're doing this.
Yeah.
This is a real life experience. I got like a crash course in it, you know, right from the very beginning.
Okay, so mortgage lending background, which is proven beneficial. Guidance counselor.
Yes.
I
So
gotta believe there's been some definite benefits that have come out of that helping clients, right?
She talks people
Absolutely.
down off the ledge.
Yeah. So tell
yeah,
me.
and so I mean,
Yeah, right.
it's one of those things where you know, personality quirks don't bother me. You know, if somebody, I feel like I can use that counseling part to make them feel like they're being listened to and heard.
Keyword there, feel. Yeah, it's how we make people feel is what they most remember.
Right.
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 So you're kind of using some of that educational side of it to make them feel really good. Listening, I would imagine, is part of that.
Oh, it's a big part of it.
Okay. And then y'all kind of work together as a team. Anything that you would specialize in, or is it next client up and we're able to help anyone?
Well, we have our own clients, but
Okay.
when we get the client, they're going to get an email, depending on whose client it is,
Okay.
from us introducing the other one. So I always say, I've included, my team member Claire. She can help you just like I can. She can do showings. She can answer questions. And it's kind of one of those things where, like, for example, if I'm already committed to a different client, but this client wants to go see showings, I'll be like, hey, I'm going to have Claire take you.
Yep.
And it's like working with either one of us.
Right.
Right. So,
And a lot of what I did when she came on with me was that I had trained many new agents and taught them how to work all of the different systems that we use. And I said, okay, I need to show you how to do all of this, and this is the process that I found that works best when I'm working with clients.
okay.
My biggest downfall is that when I get too busy and I get overwhelmed, I need somebody that comes behind me and says, hey, call this person. Don't forget about them.
Right,
You need to make
yep.
sure you reach out to them.
I'm really good at systems.
And that's something that really was
Systems, processes.
Everything.
all of
Follow
that.
up.
And I really like to, I get distracted by shiny objects.
Okay,
And
squirrel.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
And she has a video of me actually
One time with an actual squirrel
being
outside the
distracted by
window.
a
She put a
squirrel.
slinky on it, and I was like, oh.
It was-
Okay. Like, yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyways, but I really love working with new people and existing people, and we get into our process and that
It's kind of boring.
consultative process
Sure.
with them, and as I go through that, I really need to take that and put it into something that I can follow up with,
Right.
and then actually follow up with them, and that's where she comes in, because she
I
kind of
don't mind the
steps.
boring stuff.
I kind of throw it over my shoulder and she picks it up.
Yeah, and so, guys, I think this is kind of what we're finding out when we talk about, like, building teams, right? If you're building a team, then you're not going to want to go find people that are exactly like you
No,
and have
right,
the
no.
exact same skill sets as you and want to do the exact same things that you do. So you have to figure out first what your highest and best use is. Okay, what are you the best at? And then find complementary people that at the same right or the same level of expertise, it's just in the other items that you find are not your
Yes.
highest and best use. They're equal, right? Because you need both to truly be successful in a business, not a solopreneur, right? But in a business, that's when you've moved yourself from solopreneur to a team in a business, is when you have the ability to hire that out in either partnerships, team memberships, hiring out ISAs or transaction coordinators or whatever to do that, because now you've been able to, I would imagine, impact your customer at a much higher level.
I believe that.
Because
Yes.
you weren't going to be able to do it on
No,
your own, and
no.
you needed somebody
Right.
probably to help from a sales perspective while you were coming in this business.
Sure.
Okay.
And I think that one of the things that's been very nice from a complementary standpoint is, I was a psychology major. I'm still a big personality test nerd, and
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I really like to dive into what color are you, or where are you in the disc profile, or those types of things.
Right.
What's your love language? All of those mean a lot.
Love language.
I know, huge,
Yes.
huge
I
deal.
go through that a lot.
Yes, and it matters to your clients and to your team members. And I classify team members not just as the two of us, but the three of us whenever we're working a transaction together. When I first introduce my partners in the transaction, I'm going to make sure that that you've walked into our office. Now, here are all of the specialists that you're going to be able to use
Yeah.
when we're in practice together. So-
It's interesting. So my quote and how I live is be brief, be bright, be gone. Okay? Literally, give me the highlight, brief. The highlight better be bright, meaning you got to give me everything that I need, and then go.
Yep.
But before you go, I may look at that and go, I need more information,
Sure.
right? And so that's when I will invite the conversation back in, and I want it more detail. But I have to then quickly understand, because that's who I am, but that may not be who you are. And you may be more detail up front, forward-facing. And so in relationships, whether it's your partner relationships, business relationships, or client relationships, it's really important to know the other person, because if you really care about them and their needs, and you gotta really, take ownership of that person. Let's say they're one of your associates or whatever. Then you gotta move yourself over to their side first.
Yeah, to speak the same language.
Yep.
Speak the same language, because my be brief, be bright, be gone doesn't work with a lot of people. And so I have to then, okay, I gotta be patient, because you're gonna want to tell me a story. And I'm gonna have to listen to that story and try to pick out the parts that I need to then take to the bright side to make a decision.
Sure.
Right? Because that's why have to assume that you're here with me for, is to figure out how to overcome this.
Exactly.
And so it's hard. I mean, it's
Sure.
really hard, but you got to know who you are.
Yes.
And then you got to know who the other person is, because a lot of people don't invest in that.
Right.
They just want to be everything, and you can't. I mean, if you don't know really truly who you are at core, then you can't get to that person's love language, so to
Exactly.
speak.
Well, it's
But-
even as much as knowing whether or not your client wants to be contacted by text or email or phone. You have some
Absolutely.
clients that it's like they want to be called, and then you have some that's like, couldn't you just have sent that in a text?
Yeah.
Like, so
They
it's
don't
just
want
even
that. Yeah.
some of those details.
Yeah,
Right.
I completely agree. And those are questions you have to be good at asking. A lot of people
Absolutely.
just assume, and we all know what that does,
Yeah.
but you have to ask, what is your preference of communication? Are you okay if we text you after a certain hour? Are you, because a lot of people work, right? Are you okay if we call? No, I can't take calls. Cool.
Right.
Email or text, which one's better?
Right.
Right? If we need you.
Yes.
Right? And so just got to ask those kind of questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's extremely important, both in the interaction that we have together, and then also as that translates to the clients and the customers too, because this is such a digital age that so much of our follow-up, and while it's so cool, and I love the systems that we have that that provide those additional touches to people.
Right.
If I get one more spam email in my inbox, especially in my work inbox,
Yeah. So you do like the technology that has been introduced into our industries. So
Right.
you like those.
I
Okay.
like it. It's certainly very convenient, but we have to not forget about that personal communication and
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
interaction and engagement.
Correct.
And I think that is, I feel like that as we've made this transition, building community has resonated so much to me in the values for Simply Texas Real Estate. Building community within our team and our client base, and having all of us really come together and say, this is the culture that we have, and when you come in and you work with us, you're part of our flock now. I mean, we want you to come to our client parties. We want you to see that we're thinking about you and and loving on you even after you're closed. She took around these cute little fall pot buys to her people and made a new friend in her community.
So that's interesting. So guys, they just made a move to Simply Texas Real Estate. So we want to kind of talk about that.
Sure.
But I do know what you're speaking about when you talk about community involvement or community engagement. We have to be careful, because it's like companies talking about culture.
Sure.
Okay, companies can have a culture. They talk about it. They put posters on the wall, right? They maybe put a banner on their intranet site. Is that really what culture is? No. It is something you have to live into, and it has to be almost owned from the in a hierarchy of a traditional hierarchy, the bottom up, right?
Right.
To where they are the ones that are really making the culture what it is that ultimate leadership has set out for it to be.
Exactly.
So within community engagement, I sometimes feel the same way. We talk about it in our industries, but what is it that we really are doing to make the community itself fully engage with what
Yes.
it is that you're wanting to do?
It has to be real. So, and to have that sense of community, I'll give you a quick example. I have a client that I actually met at a garage sale.
Yes.
And she was shopping, and she had made a comment that she'd walked, and she wanted some more stuff, and she's like, well, I walked, I can't buy this. And I'm like, oh, I'll just give you a ride home. And she kind of looked at me, and I was like, well, that's community, right? Like, I'll give you a ride home.
I mean, you walked here. It can't be that far.
Right.
Exactly.
And so, long story short,
maybe a mile, I don't know.
Right.
We're actually, Facebook friends. Hi, Carlene, if you're watching. And she's a client now.
Okay.
So it's like when you say you're part of a community, you're part of that community.
I mean, and she's really good at this. I mean, it's funny because you meet her, and then you become Facebook friends, and if you're not immediately like friended on Facebook,
you're probably not on Facebook if you're
not.
Yeah,
you either aren't on Facebook or something went wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, but and that's kind of how we met. Is I was involved in the ballroom dance community, and I met her, and it was like, okay, step 1, meet. Step 2,
Facebook friends.
Yeah. Step 3, get invited to game night. I mean, that's just kind of what you do.
I stepped in it this morning, and they asked, okay, so what exactly are we going to be doing? And I said, we're actually going to have a dance-off.
Perfect.
And they got it. Yes, let's do it.
I've got the boots on. We both got the boots on.
Yeah,
I mean, we got this.
Ballroom dance. We got screwed up on this one. So community engagement. I mean,
strangers or friends we haven't met yet.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
I'm not afraid to go talk to people.
Okay. So what is it? Some of the things that you guys are doing? Like you were kind of talking about that a little bit on the community side.
So, I it starts with just the transaction itself. I mean, in leading up to the transaction. So, I'm Facebook friends with a lot of my clients. Hi guys. And that part is really important to me, and really staying engaged with them both on and off of social media.
Okay.
And then, as we move through the transaction, good, bad, or ugly, I'm still going to be there. I'm still going to be here. You can count on me to still be a part of it. And then after closing, I don't disappear.
Good.
That's something that I think that every agent struggles with, is the follow-up with their past clients, and creating that community and really engaging and saying,
inviting to events like the homeownership for women.
So we've had several different events that have been geared towards different audiences.
Okay, good.
Last year we did just a kind of a celebration party of our team.
So much fun.
It was a great time. As we talked about before, I love country music.
Yeah.
And so we did it at a venue where we could have a live band.
Oh, nice.
Great fun.
Yes.
And we'd like to do that again. I'd like to have some of my friends from Nashville come and sing.
All right, Nashville.
Yeah.
All right, Nashville. Calling you out. So, and then, just having, we did another event that was a ladies homeownership event. We are both single moms. There's a lot of single women out there who are purchasing homes that are, and even if you're not single and you just, want to take a more active role in your,
caring for your home,
like understanding the inspection report, knowing what to do if you've got a drain backup, or if you've
the
got
right amount of insurance.
Just whatever. I mean, when my AC went out, I knew how to navigate that process. I didn't need to have somebody else step in and do it for me.
Sure.
So I partnered with a local hardware store, Elliott's Hardware in Plano, and put together a program where they had somebody come out, and this is something that we're still, putting out there. And I would like to do this class as a quarterly thing for women.
Right.
And, have somebody that's an expert come out and talk to us. I mean, personally, I know how to snake my shower drain now because, Elliott's taught me how to do that.
Right. Yep.
And not that I really like to do it, but I can.
Sure.
And those are hard things about homeownership. It doesn't stop when you close.
No,
So
no, it doesn't, and you know, the niche piece I love. You know, I talk a lot about this. I'm in a lot of different niches, and the niches means it just really gives me the opportunity to be very personal. So whether it's a single woman's like group, right? Then you can really speak to them differently than you can to just the general population,
right.
or another segment of your niches, right? I mean, you can really go deep with them in a way that you never could have before. But with Facebook and the groups and all these kind of things that you can do, there's so many ways to engage and connect, and,
right.
and that helps, right? Just I don't even know how to snake my frickin' whatever it is. I don't know how to do that. I would want to join.
I bet
Right?
Jennifer might know.
Yeah,
I'll
right,
teach her.
she
I'll teach
probably
her.
would. I don't know. So like, she doesn't even let me change light bulbs anymore. It's like that bad. And I don't know if it was like our first remodel. And guys, my wife and I have been married 23 years. Remodeled a lot of homes, and like the very first one, I decided I was going to do our hardwoods, and I would actually, you know, get underneath the house because it's a pier beam home, and I could PVC pull on this thing. Yeah, well, the hardwoods like stripped a couple of times because I didn't wait for the ceiling purposes and all that kind of stuff. So, and then we flushed the toilet and ended up in the washing machine type deal.
Yeah.
So, you know,
So you were fired.
yeah, I was, and I can't. People were like, "Dude, you're so brilliant," because I never had to do it again.
So you were bad at it and you got released
I got
from it?
bad at it and I got
Yes.
fired. The only thing that it really had now, it costs me a lot, right? Because I have to hire it out.
Yes.
So just people say, well, you should have you could save yourself so much more money, but then it's like time value, and
Right,
now
exactly.
it's just about you have to create the money to pay somebody.
There you go.
But it always gets done a whole lot better, I gotta believe.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. I think that you know it comes back to knowing your strengths, and then being
Yes.
able to partner with it. There you go.
I know my strength, and it is definitely not that.
Some things are better left to professionals.
Yes.
Yep.
So what are you guys doing, like branding wise? Like, okay, so we got Simply Texas Real Estate.
Right.
Okay. Now, is there a team brand, individual brand? How are y'all doing this?
So our team name is the Live Simply Team.
Live Simply
Yes.
Team. You know,
Yes.
my daughter is Olivia.
Yeah.
Oh, mine too.
Really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
Olivia Jade.
Olivia Jade?
Yep.
Okay, we're Olivia Rose.
Okay.
She's going to be so mad at me for doing all this, but she's 15.
So is mine.
Really awesome. Well, she plays beach volleyball.
Okay.
So I went with Live Life Beach.
Oh, I
that's
love the
great.
beach.
Look
Yeah,
at that.
because it's beach volleyball, Live
Yeah.
Life Beach, right? It kind of plays into that.
It
So I
does.
like your team name.
Yes.
That's cool. Okay, so you're going to brand that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you know, for a long time, you know, really being authentic.
Yep.
And you know, you guys know a lot about me. I don't hide behind. You know,
We
things
are
that
who we are.
We are who we are. I mean, and so being authentic and really living life to the fullest
Yeah.
is a huge part of just who I am and what I do.
Love it.
And then having things be simple is very
Trying to make it as
important
simple as
well.
possible.
So this transaction is going to be simple. The interaction we have with our partners,
Well,
all simple.
think about it from an educator standpoint, right? We're, as an educator, you're taught, hopefully, to take something that's complicated
Yep. Break it down.
and break it down
Yep.
to make it something that's simple to understand.
Yep.
That is how you were able to get children of all ages to learn and to move forward in life.
Yep.
It's the same thing. I mean, I'm not calling them you guys children, but that's really what we have to be able to do. We
Yeah,
have to take
we
something
make it
that
understandable.
is something that could be considered complicated, a home buying, a home selling process, because it does evolve and change. It changes every day, every
Yes.
year. How do we take that and make it something simple?
Exactly.
Okay.
And I mean, you and I both know how much lending has changed in
Oh, God.
15, 20 years. I mean, that's one of the reasons I stay in my own lane now. I mean,
That's why I have an underwriter that sits right here on my team that just fully keeps me abreast of
Yeah.
everything that's going on.
Yep.
Because while I've been in it 23 years, guys, things change.
Yep.
And so I want to make sure that when we're communicating something to somebody, it's been fully vetted and we know that it's going to work, because like we had a product that was a great product, and by October 1st it went away.
Sure.
Well, you can't
can't
you're
use
gonna
it
lead
anymore.
everybody up to that point because they want the product, but if you're gonna be doing something after October 1st, you're not gonna get it. So we gotta
Right.
close the deal before September,
Yep.
into September. And so these things, you just gotta stay on top of that.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, what else do you want to know?
Well, so the branding, so you're gonna brand the team,
Yes.
okay? What do you see? What does that look like in your world, like branding? What are you guys gonna be doing?
You know,
I think a lot of it comes just from being at Simply Texas.
right,
Uh-huh.
right.
Southern hospitality, just the Texas life.
Yeah,
The manifesto that we have at Simply Texas really goes so much deeper than just a tagline or
okay.
a company vision or whatever. I mean, we have a whole, Texas.
When I read it, I was like, these are our people.
Yes. Texas is a way of life. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's from the cowboy boots that you wear to the, Our Lady's, charm
Yay.
necklace, to the,
They're good reminders.
Exactly.
It's the reminders, much like we talked about the culture side, it's those little things that can remind you, but then it's gonna take you guys, right, every day to really
Daily
carry
living
that
it.
out, right? The
But that's
daily
how we
living.
live. We are
Right.
Texas girls. That's
That's-
who we are.
Exactly, and it's, and that doesn't stop with it. Granted, one of our hashtags is country girl, sell it for me.
Country girls sell it for me?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, gotta channel the Luke Bryan a little bit.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I haven't spent, 2 or 3 weeks, showing condos down in downtown Dallas.
Right.
I've done it in Boots,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I mean,
That's Texas.
Texas,
it's
and that's what Texas is.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it doesn't matter.
You
Yeah.
could be
We're all
in the park
types.
cities, you could be in the condos, you
Yep.
could be out in
The
in
country.
the sticks in the country.
Yes,
And you can wear your boots.
Yep.
exactly.
I mean,
I wear them with everything. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to figure out if I could wear them Friday night with my formal.
the only place I,
don't
get in
know.
trouble wearing my steel-toe Red Wings is the airport.
Yeah,
Because
right,
they tend to like
right.
not
Yeah.
want to be walking through that thing
Exactly,
with
the
those big
thing.
old boots. Yeah.
So, no, I mean, I think that the branding really comes from, like, treating people how you really want to be
Southern
treated.
charm.
Yes.
The southern hospitality.
Right. Yes, ma'am. No, sir.
Absolutely.
Yep.
For a very long time, I've given a pineapple as a closing gift. Not an actual pineapple, but something that has,
The symbol of
the
it all.
symbol. And the pineapple is the symbol of Southern hospitality. I mean, I learned early on, I think it was one of my wedding shower when my stepmother said, well, what are you going to give as hostess gifts? And I looked at her and I said, I don't know. And I mean, I was, 21, and she said, well, you should give something that, is a hospitality something or other. And I'm
Right.
like, at this point in time, couldn't go look it up on the internet. And so I said, well, what should I do? And she said, well, give them some kind of little pineapple or something. I said, oh, okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So, and that really stuck with me. And I think that in the business that we are in, we're creating a home for our clients. I mean,
Right.
we are truly creating home. So, having that as part of our logo is important.
Okay,
And
so the pineapple.
having the
Yep.
pineapple in there. If you're a Texas girl and you see the logo with the pineapple, and my dad even said, he was like, why are you using a pineapple? And my stepmom came back and said, Southern hospitality, every Texas girl knows this.
Well, but
So-
it's a good question. I mean, something like that can spark a question, which gives you the opportunity to really talk about
Exactly.
what it is that you do. And in any of your marketing, anything, then if you're going to make that part of it, you need to be able to have that in everything
Yes.
and give yourself the opportunity to talk about it, even create hashtags around,
Mm-hmm.
the pineapple. I mean, you can create, it's kind of crazy, you create a movement around the pineapple,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
But it's all about, it's driving it back to your
Our branding.
your brand.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what do you guys do for lead generation? So, a lot of agents out there are struggling, and I do meet with a lot of agents, and we talk a lot about these things, and a lot of it comes down to lead generation. And I'd like to hear your take on that and what you feel like lead generation really is and what it means and what they should be doing.
Well, I think the biggest part of that is not so much what company or what website you're using. It's the second half of it. That what are you doing when you have it?
Right.
You know, it's not an auto thing. It's like you have to put the work in. You have to follow up.
Yep.
I think that's more important than what system are you using.
Yeah, I don't think the system, I mean, you know, CRMs and all that stuff are definitely important. I use Salesforce, so I mean, I invest heavily in CRMs to manage all the client touches, the opportunities that we have that are considered leads that we're moving down the pipeline because they're in different stages, right? I mean, when we get somebody, they're in a different stage every time. So whether it's the bottom of the funnel, they're looking to do it now, or it's the top of the funnel, and this could be a 2 or 3 year process with this individual, great. I never worry about it. You know, I just want to make sure we're built such that we can take care of them at whatever stage they're in.
And I think it's important to diversify too, you know, to have several ones that you use and just kind of pick
manage
several.
it. Yeah.
And are y'all doing like call times?
So I can speak to this as an experienced agent with a book of business.
Good.
And then she can talk about the newer agent side of it because I think that it encompasses both.
Okay.
I have a lot of repeat business and a lot of past clients that come back to me. Thank you so much. And really, most of my business comes from my sphere at this point.
I think NAR says about 70% of the business from an agent is going to be from sphere.
Yeah, really, it is. And I'm not at all opposed to taking, taking the internet call, lead call. You know, and I've got systems in place now where we've got sort of the long-term play that require a lot more nurture.
Sure.
And that's something that I've got we have with support from our broker. And then we also have, you know, the raise my hand, I want to go look at this property right now kind of lead. And I will take both of them and treat them exactly the same way that I would with my sphere. My sphere is going to come, you know, when somebody raises their hand and says, hey, I'm ready to come back into the market again, they're going to come through that exact same system where, you know, we go through the follow-up, we go through the checklist. This move has really caused me to become a lot more organized.
That's great.
Which is amazing because I really, really needed that. And the systems, like the CRM, they've got this built-in checklist. And it's like, oh, I was doing all this already, but I was kind of writing it down in my notebook.
Sure. And then you could lose some of that.
And then you could lose it.
There's always leakage when that happens, right? Whenever there's a pen and a big chief tablet, there's leakage.
Yes, exactly.
We have lots of notebooks.
So now a lot of that has been automated for me, which is fantastic because it really keeps me organized. I was looking at one of our automated, not automated, but our internal whiteboard, okay? And I was going through, we've got Erin's sphere, you know, Erin's internet leads, Clair's sphere, Clair's, you know, in kind of the way that we've got our whiteboard organized internally. And really the column with the sphere leads are decidedly deeper. But I've also been in the business for 20 years. So, you know, there's that.
That should be.
It should be. It should be that. So, you know, when she came on, one of the primary roles that I had for her when I brought her on as my teammate was to follow up on the investment of the internet leads that I was purchasing, like for myself. And I said, look, I've got a lot of sphere stuff going on, and I really can't devote the time to nurturing these internet leads. Can you please help? You know, and so I pretty much was like, here, do this part. And so she got a trial by fire of, you know, just call these people. Just call them and find out what's going on and what do they want to do. So from a new agent standpoint, I mean, I'm a big believer in internet leads. I think that, you know, you've got to start somewhere, and
can't be afraid to call them.
You can't have call reluctance.
That's a big thing for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Call reluctance.
I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no.
How did you overcome that?
Well, it's, like we were talking about earlier, I'm not shy. I'm very extroverted, and I don't have a problem, talking to people I don't know, and the same thing over the phone. Say who I am and kind of gauge how they're reacting and go from there.
I'm also a big believer in scripting, and I taught her, pretty much from the get-go. I said, okay, here's about 5 different scripts that I use.
Plus, I listened to her do it.
Yes, yes, and we officed together. We still do. So she heard 5 million phone calls, and me go through this, the same script
stuff.
exactly. Okay, all right, cue it up. This is what we're going to do. If I'm going to take an interview, this is how it's going to go. If I'm going to do, follow-up calls, this is what I'm going to say. And so, I just printed out the scripts and had them bound and said, just carry this around with you.
Yeah.
Just take it with you. And
In the very beginning, I would do it on speakerphone so she could hear, and then she'd kind of tell me. So it was, it was a...
Yeah, I mean, I think I think the big thing is the reluctance, which leads to paralysis.
Yes.
Right, because they don't make the call. They have reluctance.
Because they think they're going to have rejection.
Right, and so...
That's okay.
Well, it's 100% okay because you're not failing, you're learning.
Right. And they're
You're
not
learning.
rejecting us.
No.
They're just not ready to get into a house.
It's always
Right.
a sales call. You're either selling them or they're selling you on why they're not ready. Right?
Yep, right.
But really, I think the biggest piece is what you feel that you're really doing for that person. Are you really trying to sell them something? Or are you really trying to help them? Right? I mean, they reached out for a reason.
Right.
Well, okay, let's figure out what that is. Don't try to make it about closing a deal on that first call. Make it about understanding their needs. Hey, you know what? I really appreciate you filling out the survey. You were requesting information. Well, first off, tell me a little bit about what you're wanting to accomplish with this. Right? When is it you're looking to sell? When is it you're looking to buy? What's the most important thing for you in making this decision to buy or to sell?
Sure.
You're learning, right? I mean, and you can sell really well by asking questions and listening.
Yes.
The best salesperson is going to ask the question, shut up and listen.
Yep.
And they're going to tell you everything that you need to do to help them make a buying decision to choose you.
Yep.
Right? But we always get into verbal diarrhea. We just want to talk. And I've had agents like, oh my God, you just talked yourself out of a sale. Shut up.
Yeah.
Right? Stop talking.
Stop
Right?
talking.
So just ask the question and listen.
Yep.
So, but it's the reluctance. So you just have to pick it up and dial.
Well, it's kind of like, getting over that being uncomfortable. Well, what's going to make you more uncomfortable? Making the call or
being
not
broke.
being broke. It's super uncomfortable being broke.
Okay, guys, hold on. This is important. That right there is really important because most people will go to what makes them comfortable.
Yes.
Right? That's where we go first, is what makes us the most comfortable. We stay away from what makes us uncomfortable. But you just said something. You have to tie what is the being uncomfortable to you personally, which is
being
something
broke or not having something or
being broke, not being able to pay mortgage or rent or groceries. And if you tie it to something like that, trust me, you don't want to be comfortable.
As a
You
single
will move over
mom
here.
working fully on commission, we don't like to be uncomfortable.
No.
So we're willing to look past what would be uncomfortable calling people or doing that work. Or,
Well, open houses, I still believe that there's so many things that we do as agents. Open houses are still really, really, really important, even though in this day and age when they're when people can go and punch in a code on their app or whatever and go and tour themselves. I meet a lot of people at open houses. I am not afraid to go and she did like 3 last weekend.
I usually try to do it.
And I was out showing and, we kind of flip-flopped. It's like, okay, I've got this thing with my kids. You go do this. I'll go show on this day, and then we'll just kind of tag team it all in. But going out and meeting people in open houses, using the tools and the resources that we have provided to us through our brokerage, to really drive traffic to those open houses.
Make them fun.
And make them fun. I mean, if there's a Cowboys game on, turn it on. I mean,
we've done that already. Worn jerseys and had the game on.
Yeah, mix of analog and digital marketing.
Yep.
I mean, that's what an open house would be, more analog because you're present, you have to be there versus the digital marketing you're listing on social media, those types of things. It helps the seller. The seller likes to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? They like to see you present. They like to see some traffic. broker opens, obviously you're good because they feel like it gets more exposure because the agents are going to see
Yep.
those things. But then with the buyers, I mean, how many buyers really buy that house when they walk through?
Almost none.
None.
Right,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
little. But it gives you the opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to make connections.
Right, and it goes back to the scripting. I mean, you know, everything that I'm doing is intentional when I'm talking to somebody at an open house or when I'm talking to somebody at a lacrosse game and we're sitting there talking about real estate or whatever. I'm going to ask those same questions, the same scripting. Everything is going, you know, it feels very natural because I've done it 100 million times, but at the same time, it leads those questions out of them.
You've done it 100,000 times, and what makes the script work, I have to believe, is it's authentic. It's not salesy, right? So I'm not a big script guy.
Okay.
I think they're only scripts when you're learning, and after that you have to put your own
It's
twist
just
on it.
part of the way.
That's
Yes.
exactly correct.
Yes.
And I know what you mean
'Cause
by
people don't
scripting.
wanna
It's the
be-
same thing I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody reading a
Oh,
script.
no.
I want them to have the highlights of what that conversation should look like and feel like, and then I want to hear you talk.
The
about it.
emotional
I
part
want,
of it.
it's the emotional piece because I mean the old sayings, right? Smile when you dial. I mean,
Yes.
it's still true. I
Right.
don't care whoever said that or whatever is written.
Uh-huh.
It's still true today, right?
Yep.
People can feel your emotion and your enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
Whether it's on camera
Sure.
coming across this way or it's on a phone call.
I don't call anybody until I've had my coffee.
Yes. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're better off just declining the call
Right.
if I haven't had my
I know.
coffee. 'cause
I'll
it's
call
not
you
gonna
right
go
back.
through.
Right. Yeah. You want to have that energy.
Yeah.
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 Well, and it goes back to things like the smiling and dialing. I mean, you know, have fun with it. You know, when you're
Make it a game.
make it yeah.
Yeah.
Having those personal, you know, interactions with people where if I'm in the middle of this script
Uh-huh.
and I'm talking to them about something and we get hung up on the number of bedrooms that they really want and they talk to me about how that's important to them. Well, you know, they might have their hot buttons that they come back to.
Yep.
And it's all about the listening and that love language
Yep.
thing. And really saying, okay, all right, we saw these 5 properties today. All of them statistically could fit your needs. Did you, emotionally, when we were in this one though, did that one really feel like you could live there?
Did you
I
see
mean,
yourself
Did
living
you
there?
see
That's what I
yourself
like to
living
ask.
there?
You see yourself.
Just,
Yeah.
and really coming back to what it was that they told me in that initial conversation, that in the lifestyle that they really wanted to have.
Yeah.
And okay, great. Does this work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you see yourself? How do you feel?
Mhm.
How does this make you feel? Those are some powerful questions that people will take a step back and they'll really be then authentic and honest back to you. Man, I really liked it, but I'm just not
Didn't
feeling
feel it.
this.
Right.
Yep.
Like, great. Tell me more about what you didn't like and what you didn't
Yep.
feel right about, and that can help you pivot to something that maybe is better there.
What works
better
about it,
suited.
what doesn't work about
But
it.
sometimes they don't know how to explain that.
Yep.
And so sometimes it does take getting there, and it's like, oh, man, this looked great, but man, I'm not feeling it.
I
Right.
think it's really interesting where you can feel the energy change when you've gone into the right home.
Yeah.
And it's like it's one of those like kind of yoga woo woo things. You guys know this. I'm a big yoga fan.
Really?
Yes, I'm actually a certified yoga teacher as well.
Oh my gosh.
So yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have tight hands.
Oh yes. Bend your knees when you do your forward folds, because otherwise, So,
Okay.
but you can feel the energy change, and there's times when I've been in properties that we've had listed where the listing has gone somewhat stale.
Yep.
And there's something going on with the home, and you need to clear the energy out of it.
Yeah.
And that could be
Put some
because
sage in there, right?
right, something, or get some crystals and cleanse it. But I think that there's a lot to be said about people's emotional attachment to their homes, and once you remove that emotional attachment, say, okay, we need this to be vacant.
Yeah.
Like, we need to go ahead and just move on.
Sure.
Like, let's.
That's an emotional, it's a very emotional
It is.
thing, right?
It is.
So you gotta be able to break that emotion, to remove the emotion.
Right.
And go straight to the facts.
Yeah.
Look, we wanna play the emotional game, your house ain't gonna sell.
Right.
Yes.
It's gonna sell for a lot less than what you want. You wanna be
Right.
factual? This is what
They have
you-
to consider
this-
that it's not their house
This
anymore.
is why I'm the
Right.
expert and why you're paying me the money,
Right.
right?
Yep.
This is
Right.
the factual side.
Yes.
We gotta do this, this, and
Right.
this to get what you want.
And it, when we're shopping for the next home, then we're shopping for your next home. But when we're selling it, it is now the property. It's, we're removing,
Good point.
this is,
I like that.
this is the property needs to be staged, professionally photographed, all of that stuff. We're gonna do these things to sell
Yeah.
this property. But while she's holding the open house, let's you and I go out and shop for your next home.
Home. Yeah.
So,
I love that.
Yep.
Can we talk love languages? Okay,
Yeah,
so what
yeah.
is your love language?
acts of service.
Acts of service.
Yeah.
Okay.
Words of affirmation and physical touch, but
See, I am words of affirmation and physical touch.
yeah, so you're so awesome. Where she's like doesn't really care so much about that. She'd rather have me finish these projects, you know, to show her that I
And
could do it.
the acts of service thing, I'm gonna show love by,
Jen-
is something going on? Like, my favorite.
Jennifer's actually acts of service.
Acts of
as well.
service
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
So on closing day,
Uh-huh.
one of my favorite things to do for my clients, and not everybody gets this because it just, I don't know,
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But I love to either, order a pizza or go pick up some tacos and, a 6-pack of beer and just be like, y'all, moving sucks. Let me bring you dinner,
Right, yeah.
And that might look like it's a gift-giving thing. It's totally not. It's
Because
like,
you're doing something for
it's
them.
like you're hungry, you're moving, it's hot,
Yeah.
have a beer, have some tacos, let's put on some country music and let's get this done.
Whereas I'm like, give me a hug, your house is so pretty. I can't wait to see what it looks like decorated, Yeah.
Yeah, I find things go really well at my house if I gas up the cars or
Totally,
do some,
right?
Do some laundry or do the dishes.
Oh, that goes a long way.
Yeah, which is absolutely not my deal, right?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Gas up the what?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my
Right.
god.
Yeah.
But when I do it, oh my god, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And so we're just guys. We got to be smart at this stuff. We got to learn that this is the stuff that we need to be doing all the time, right? Understand the language and then just go do it.
Right. Well, and it goes. Clients. I mean, for them, they might not. I mean, they might be like, everything was perfect, but she didn't bring me a closing gift.
Do you ask? Let me ask you this: do you ask what their love language is?
No, but
I'm pretty good at
usually, I'm
telling.
usually pretty good at figuring it out.
Really?
Yeah.
I've done,
Okay.
when I was at the school, I had done some professional development for our teachers because in education it's important too for
Yeah.
your students. And
Okay.
so I'm pretty good about picking out what it is.
I wonder if I should start asking what my clients' love language is.
Yeah,
You can send them the quiz.
send them the
You can
quiz.
take a
Yeah.
pretty easy quiz online.
Yeah, really?
Just
Yeah.
takes a couple minutes, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that may be something.
I'm usually pretty good at figuring it out because we spend so much time together. I mean, talking.
Yeah, we
and-
don't. I mean, you get
yeah.
a lot of time.
Yeah, we do. We do
Right?
a lot of time.
Our business is very fragmented in the fact that
Sure.
we don't have, there are over 26,000 loans, right?
Right,
In 23 years.
right,
I
right.
see 3 people a year walk
They
in my
walk
office.
in.
Right, nobody ever does because we do everything so, it's been
Electronic.
great for
Yeah.
our business because we've been able to scale.
Sure.
But we have to work really hard at being intentional and having presence. We use a lot of video and things like that in our marketing to keep,
I love that.
us in front of them.
That's something
But-
that I would like to explore more with you, even if we do it offline,
Yeah.
is we were actually talking about this yesterday, engaging our clients more with video and really getting to know, what they're looking for. I mean,
Sure.
I have some people, and you know who you are, that would absolutely love to be in more of a video, not necessarily testimonial, but just
Yeah.
being a part of our community.
Yep. Yep. We'll talk. We
Yep.
can talk about all stuff. But yeah, it's one of those types of things where I think it would be good for us to learn a little bit of that because we do so many things and we do so many things internally. But then, is it the right thing that, like you said,
To touch the-
like doing
Yeah.
the pizza and the
Uh-huh.
beer? it's nothing, but it goes so far for them.
Like, people who want quality time, they're going to want to see a lot of houses. They're going to want to,
which is totally
yeah.
cool. I mean, that's,
Yep.
If that's what you need, that's cool.
They want to feel like we're invested in them and that we've given them that time. And that's, when you know that, you commit to that.
And even, communication styles, I mean, those, going back to, okay, if you need to talk to me on the phone, and you really need to talk to me on the phone every other day, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just put it on my calendar that we're going to talk every other day. And even if it's to say, hey, I don't have anything right now. I mean, I'm a big believer in the teamwork aspect of our business. So, I described this a number of different ways, but football is probably the best example, where I'm going to do all the pregame warm up, and I'm going to start the first half, and we'll throw a couple of passes, we'll get some touchdowns, and then we'll get to halftime. Around the once we've scored, we found that home, and we've gotten through the option period. Then it's halftime, and I'm going to turn it over, and then you're going to start the second half, but I'm going to stand on the sidelines with the headset, still calling some plays every now and then, but then the mortgage side of it is going to take the rest of it and get it down to the finish line. So.
I love that. That's actually a really good analogy. I mean, we use sports and business a lot in what we talk about and do business, whether it's football or baseball. I play baseball, so I kind of side more than that stuff, but it's the same concept. And people will relate to that.
Right.
So what's driving you guys to continue? What's driving you, and what's the end game?
I love this business. I mean, I've tried to leave it several times and then thought I was completely insane and never did.
Right.
And I love what I do. It's really, I can't.
It's who you are.
Yeah, I can't see myself doing anything else. In this business, my career has evolved multiple different times. I've felt like that it's taken on just kind of an advanced role each time.
Okay.
I would love to grow this team. I think that having additional assets that really can expand our offering. I think that one of the things that makes us a great team is that we have very similar outgoing personalities, but then internally we've got very different strengths.
I love that. Yes,
which
that's good.
Adding personnel, I think that we naturally gravitate towards that the people out there that are really bubbly and outgoing and have never met a stranger, and that's great. And then they might have some sort of missing piece of the puzzle that can help us even grow further.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to necessarily have this be the Clair show. It's not, to me, about just me. I really want it to be beneficial to Erin Elaine and then everybody else. I mean, that comes to us.
Yeah.
And moving forward. So.
And I think that's the right way to do it, because if it's just about one individual, then the team ultimately suffers or resents it and moves on.
Sure.
I mean, I really feel that way. And even though, like with my brand, it's BobMortgage.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about this because this is not me. I mean, everything that happens, all of our successes are because of who we put around us.
Exactly.
And we bring people on. The team meets together. Hey, would this be a good fit? Do you like this person? Are they going to help us move forward? Right? Or are they going to take away from our team and our vision and our culture and everything that we want to accomplish? Because I can be the influential marketer, but look, there's stuff that has to happen. I mean, we're a mortgage company.
Yes.
I mean, we got to connect the dots, and we got to make sure 1 + 1 = 2 all the time, every time, right? And it takes a great group to do it, and you're doing the right thing is setting the tone for what we want personality-wise, but then what we have to have skill-wise, and then all of them have to complement.
I think that when you look at a traditional team model, it centers around like team lead and then buyer's agents or listing specialists or whatever you want to call it that are down here. And I've told practically every new agent that I've ever trained. Look, if you call me at 4:30 before an option period expires and you need me to help you fix something, I can help you fix it. But I need you to understand how your technology works so that once I've told you what to do and you've consulted with your client on it, you can effectively get that out to the other side.
Right.
You know, so learn this technology piece. I can't fix that for you. But you know, on the higher level, you call me and you say, I don't know how to do this in this transaction, or you know, my mortgage lender called and there's a giant problem with this condo that has come up, and how do we fix this? So, I mean, I can fix all this stuff, but I want you to do your part on learning and educating yourself on how to follow through on the back end of things. And that's something that she's done a really good job at. And I think that anybody that comes on, you know, I would like for that technology piece to be in there just as much as the personality side. But going back to the traditional team, you know, agents go onto a team and then they get disenfranchised with either they're not getting enough leads, or they're not getting enough support from their team lead, or they're, you know, the systems are failing, or whatever that case may be. I've heard a lot of different stories on why people defected from teams. Yeah. And I don't want that to happen here. You know, we knew that she needed to have more of her own book of business in order to make our team continue to work. That was something that that prompted us into our role with Simply Texas. Yeah. And I really needed her to be lifted up because there was a little bit of a disconnect there. So, you know, instead of having us suffer and she go this way and I go this way, we're better together.
Absolutely.
And going forward, having new people come on, I'd like for us to be better together and grow up, and not have the traditional, oh, this is all about her, she's too busy with her own book of business, she's not going to follow through on, you know, X, Y, and Z. No, I've got my strengths, and I want to be able to bring you guys up and teach you what I know, so that the next time you have a 4:30 p.m. inspection report problem, you know, exactly you know what to do. You know, so.
No, I love that. Driving you to continue, what is it?
You know, like being a people person, I love being out there talking to new people, getting to go different places. And, you know, we work all over the Metroplex. We are not just Plano or not just Frisco. You know, we've sold in Pottsboro. You know, I was in Rowlett yesterday. It's everywhere. And I've lived in this area since the 80s. You know, I grew up here. I went to high school in Plano. And so I love being out in Dallas. I mean, some people would be like, you got to drive? You know, like I've got a customer that wants to see something in Bells. Do you know where Bells is?
I've heard of it.
It's like 50 minutes probably. You know, it's close to Oklahoma.
Sure.
You know.
Oh, so. I've got a new one over in Burleson. So I mean, you know,
so it's like when sometimes people hear that and they're like, oh, well, why didn't you refer that out? I'm like, it's within an hour. I mean, it's not like it's you know we're driving to San Antonio.
I can drive 20 miles and it's an hour.
Exactly. Yes. Right? You know, driving an hour into the country is no different. Actually, it's a lot better than driving an hour to Fort Worth.
I mean, he doesn't live that far away. It takes him an hour. Brandon,
yeah,
an hour
exactly.
Every day. So, I mean,
so you know, I love being able to, you know, one day be out in the country and the next day, you know, being down in, you know, uptown.
So you love being able to see everything, be able to help people.
I like to see the people.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite things about real estate is the people. One of my least favorite things about real estate tends to also be the people. But
I hear you on that. Yep.
But you know, being kind of the personalities that we all are. There's times when I've got to, you know, close the door and hide. You know, I got to recharge the battery, and then I can go see the people again.
I do this. We run on tilt so much, and then at some point it's like, okay, I need an afternoon. I need a day. I need something just to like get away,
decompress.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll even go lay in one of the offices, shut everything down. Just give me 30 minutes, and then I'm okay.
Yep.
Alexa, play Hank Williams' Greatest Hits.
Shuffling songs by Hank Williams.
There we go.
All right, guys, we're actually going to sit here and listen to country music. But look, I really appreciate you guys giving me your eyes and ears today. It was so awesome. We dropped some great knowledge. Hopefully, we brought enough value to you to where it helps you in your life and your business move forward. Thank you so much for giving your eyes and ears. Make it a great day, and more importantly, make somebody else's day even better. Take care.
Bye, y'all.